Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points Friday night. And this is where you'll get the big talking point. Is the Enforcement Directorate acting with bias against Arvind Kejriwal? He was to be released today. The court has put a stay on it. The ED is protesting the trial court order. We'll have more on that. Kejriwal being denied his right to liberty is the direct question we'll pose. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. The Bihar NEET paper row escalates. RJD releases images now of BJP State Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary with the accused. Tejasvi Yadav cries vendetta, claims he's being unfairly targeted by the Modi government. A day after being granted bail by a trial court, Delhi High Court grants an interim stay to the Enforcement Directorate on Arvind Kejriwal's bail order. Final order on the Delhi Chief Minister now only next week. He will have to stay in jail till then. Delhi's Water Minister Atishi sits on an indefinite water strike, demands more water from Haryana government. BJP calls it a drama. Death toll rises in Tamil Nadu, huge tragedy to 53. Chief Minister Stalin chairs a high-level meeting as AIDMK BJP question easy availability of hooch in the state. Politics erupts over Lok Sabha pro tem Speaker. India bloc up in arms over decision, claims BJP destroying parliamentary norms. The BJP hits back. Struggling to fulfill its poll guarantees, Karnataka government now ropes in Boston Consulting Group to seek suggestions on how to generate revenue. BJP brands Sidhu government a failure. Congress hits back, says Modi government has also been consulting BCG. Pune court grants bail to the accused miner's father Vishal Agarwal in the Porsche accident case which killed 2 software engineers last month. The Indian Army jawans braving extreme conditions to perform yoga on World Yoga Day. Navy personnel perform yoga on board INS Vikramaditya. And India's forex reserves dropped $2.92 billion to reach $652.89 billion. But breaking now at this moment, one more examination has been postponed. Amidst the exam mess, the CSIR UGC NET exam has been postponed. The National Testing Agency has postponed the CSIR NET exam to 2024. Further down the line in 2024, the exam has been postponed, NTA says, due to unavoidable circumstances and logistical issues. The exam was scheduled to be held between the 25th and the 27th of June this year. So, and yet another examination now finds itself in the eye of a storm. CSIR UGC NET exam has been postponed. Milan Sharma joins us with more on that. Milan, can you give us more details? What precisely is this particular exam that's been postponed and why?
Yeah, so Rajdeep, CSIR is a research-based institute and it had closely worked with the big institutes of India on
That's
COVID-19
the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research.
Yes, and therefore, the kind of exams that they conduct is related to professorship and research-based examinations and qualifications for that. Now, the present NTA notice says that this exam was supposed to be held on the 25th of June and till the 27th of June. Now, those dates have now been unceremoniously postponed and they haven't given a reason whether it's a paper leak or there is some other issue of irregularity or discrepancy. But they have said that the present UGC NET exam that has been cancelled for now because of the agreed paper leak that the education minister has said was found on the dark net as well as on places like Telegram. This exam also has been postponed, but they have given reasons of logistics and they have given some unavoidable circumstances. They're not being very clear about it, but certainly UGC NET scores are are used for professorship and other related appointments, and therefore CSIR was also using these UGC net scores only. So it is a connected exam that has now been postponed, of course, because the UGC net has been cancelled and a new date has still not been announced. This was one further step for the CSIR Institute, which they can't go ahead with until the UGC net exam is scheduled again.
So we don't know when the UGC net exam will be scheduled. You're saying that this is now having a domino effect on other exams which are related to the UGC net exam. Am I correct that these are professorship exams and they're being postponed? They're not being postponed at the moment because of any paper leaks. Am I correct? Nothing of that kind at the moment.
Yes, Rajdeep, these are exams and they are having a domino effect right now, as you rightly pointed out. And, subsequent appointments and other formalities cannot be done unless the UGC net exam is scheduled again. And that is why this is having a ripple effect on other appointments as well. And certainly until the ministry comes forward with a date for the UGC net, I think that other such, PhD research-based and appointment-based exams will not happen, and this is just another ripple effect because of the paper leak that has happened in the UGC net examination.
I'm just going to stop you for a moment because Manikam Tagore of the Congress is joining us. Remember, opposition is planning to raise this in a big way in the parliament session that begins next week. Manikam Tagore, in this instance, the exam which has been postponed, CSIR UGC net, is largely because the original UGC net exam, as you know, has been cancelled for now. Let's try and get a sense, is the opposition seeing this all as a need to completely review the examination processes for these central exams?
Yeah, it shows the intent of the government as well as those structures which the government has been celebrating that they had created for the national level entrance and others. These are all just in a hollow level and these are all falling apart and it's not working. And the government and the minister, particularly the education minister, is completely unaware of it. He is the education minister, not today's minister. He has been a minister for more than 4 years, and he, the person who should have been responsible, is not taking the responsibility, and the government is just busy with doing yoga, and ministers are doing yogas and others. What they are not concerned about the real issues, and students are fighting in the streets of Delhi and other parts of India. And it is very unfortunate. This government has completely lost the path itself, and the Prime Minister, after BJP became a minority party in the Lok Sabha with the help of the allies, they are forming government, but they are directionless now. And we will, as opposition parties, we will raise the issues in the parliament.
Okay, we're getting more responses at the moment. Pawan Khera, also Congress's spokesperson, joining us at this moment. Mr. Khera, let's understand that the government of India, and I'll play what Dharmendra Pradhan told our correspondent Shweta Singh in a moment, but the fact is that the government of India is claiming, look, we are doing all that we can to ensure that the National Testing Agency reviews its processes and allow us some time. How do you respond?
Now tell me, if they have their doubts and they share the doubts people have about NTA, why was Dharmendra Pradhan in a hurry to give a clean chit to NTA? Why is this government perpetually in a hurry to give clean chits? This is a clean chit government. You give a clean chit to China, you give a clean chit to NTA. Now please, for God's sake, start listening to the youth of this country, to the students of this country who have very strong reservations about the functioning of NTA.
So you're saying that you're accusing the minister of living in denial. He says, look, we are doing exactly what, in a way, Pawan Khera, you're saying at the moment. We have set up a committee that will review processes of the NTA.
Tell me, when you knew that there were questions being asked and there was evidence from Bihar coming in that there were paper leaks, why did you give a clean chit? Why would anybody trust a minister or a government which is in perpetual denial, which just doesn't tolerate any question, anybody asking questions. They just sort of start giving clean chits. So why would we trust whatever they are doing?
Okay, let me leave it there.
Now tell me, how can the head of NTA investigate NTA? How can Pradeep Joshi be investigating NTA? Last week we got to know that he will be investigating. How can I investigate myself?
Okay. Pawan Khera, appreciate your joining us. We'll also play, as I said, what Dharmendra Pradhan said a short while ago. Remember, new revelations have been coming out every day on the NEET paper leak case. In an exclusive conversation with Aaj Tak Shweta Singh, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan responded. Listen into what Dharmendra Pradhan said.
मुझे लगता है कि राजनीति से परे देश के भविष्य की बात है और इसीलिए जब हम आपसे पहला प्रश्न ये रखते हैं कि नीट विवाद में अभी तक सर पता क्या चल पाया है सरकार को।
लेकिन नीट में जब 5 मई को परीक्षा हुआ और आज तक 2 प्रमुख विषय सामने आई है। कुछ जगह पे गड़बड़ियों की बात आई है, कुछ जगह पे समय कम मिलने के कारण विद्यार्थियों में, स्टूडेंट्स में एक आक्रोश था। वो लोग कोर्ट पहुंचे, कोर्ट ने उनके ऊपर कुछ सुझाव दिया, एनटीए ने एक फार्मूला उनके लिए बनाई, उस पर कुछ ग्रेस मार्किंग की व्यवस्था की गई। जो ग्रेस मार्किंग एनटीए की या पुरानी इस प्रकार की परीक्षा में नहीं था, लेकिन ऐसे एक व्यवस्था बनाई गई। उसके ऊपर भी कुछ स्टूडेंट फिर कोर्ट गए, फिर कोर्ट की दखल से, कोर्ट की इंटरफेयर हस्तक्षेप से एक सरकार को कहा गया, एनटीए को कहा गया कि आप उसमें से एक विकल्प मॉडल लेके आओ। फिर बहुत सोच समझ के पुनः परीक्षा, जो 1563 छात्र जो जिनको कम समय मिला, ऐसे उन्होंने एक ग्रीवांस रिड्यूसल कमेटी के सामने बात रखे थे, ऐसे विद्यार्थियों को री एग्जामिनेशन का कोर्ट ने एक आदेश दिया। 23 को उनकी री एग्जामिनेशन होने वाला है। उसके अलावा फिर एक विषय आई, 1-2 जगह पे क्वेश्चन पेपर के लिए लेके एक विसंगति ध्यान में आया कि पहले कुछ मिल गया क्या, थोड़ा कुछ लोगों के हाथ में चला गया क्या। एक प्रमुख घटना पटना में ध्यान में आई। पिछले कई दिनों से पटना की पुलिस उसकी तह तक पहुंची, उसकी अंत तक शायद अभी जो जानकारी मेरे पास है, पटना पुलिस इनको सारा विषय को संज्ञान में लिया है, कुछ लोगों के ऊपर कार्रवाई हुई है। उसकी
Okay, so there is the Education Minister saying processes are being followed and investigation is going on. But the fact is, the students' plight has taken, is caught in this politics, especially in Bihar, because amidst the ongoing investigation into the NEET paper leak, the RJD today shared a photo of another accused, Amit Anand, with the Bihar Deputy Chief Minister, Samrat Chaudhary. This has sparked another political controversy. Take a look at how the investigation into the NEET paper leak is taking increasingly a political twist.
Students on the warpath against alleged NEET paper leak in Patna, Bihar. The accused in the case have confessed, triggering a big political storm. The Bihar Economic Offences Unit is probing the link between Tejasvi Yadav's PA, Pritam Kumar, and the alleged mastermind, Sikandar Yadav. The EOU claims that the guest house where 4 NEET aspirants were made to memorize answers to the NEET question paper was allegedly booked by Tejasvi's PA. The former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister has called the charges a bid to divert attention.
केंद्र में सरकार उनकी, जांच एजेंसियां उनकी, हम ही कहते हैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को बुला ले मेरे साइड को, अरे चाहे पीए हो, पीएस हो, कोई हो, बुला करके पूछताछ कर ले। जो अमित आनंद है, जो आपका नीतीश कुमार है, ये कौन लोग हैं? इनको क्यों बचाना चाहते हैं ये लोग? क्यों ये लोग जो है डाइवर्ट कर रहे हैं इशू को?
In a big counter, the RJD, Tejasvi's party, has now released images of the current Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary with one of the accused, Amit Anand. Amit is currently in custody and has confessed to his involvement in the NEET paper leak. The Economic Offences Unit has also recovered burnt question papers, answer keys and post-dated checks from Anand's residence.
एक चीज समझिए, पॉलिटिकल तौर पर कोई मिला हो तो मिल सकता है, लेकिन एकदम स्पष्ट रहिए, मैं व्यक्तिगत संबंध किसी से नहीं हो सकता है। ये पूरी तरह जिस पर भी है, जिन लोगों ने भी गलत किया है, उस पर पूर्ण रूप से कार्रवाई करनी।
सत्ता में बैठ के सत्ता के रसूख का दुरुपयोग करने वाले लोग जवाब देने के बजाय बरगलाने का और घुमाने का खेल, भरमाने का खेल न खेलें। पूरी तरह से सरकार सजग है, गलत करने वाले लोग बचेंगे नहीं।
But it isn't confined to Bihar. The NEET fire is raging across the country, with students hitting the streets in protest, in the wake of India Today's relentless spotlight on the story. The opposition has continued to corner the Modi government over the exam mess.
30 लाख छात्र चाहता है कि आपने जिस तरह से यूजीसी नेट का एग्जाम रद्द करके दोबारा कराने की बात की है, वैसे नीट के 30 लाख छात्र, उनके अभिभावक कल राहुल गांधी जी से घर पे मिले। उनकी मांग है कि ये भी एग्जाम रद्द होकर दोबारा से कराया जाए और नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी नकारा, निकम्मी, भ्रष्टाचार का अपना पेपर लीक माफियाओं का अड्डा बन चुकी है, उसे भंग किया जाए।
हम पेपर लीक तो बंद नहीं कर सके, हम यूक्रेन की लड़ाई की बात करते हैं। तो मैं समझता हूं कि ये बहुत बड़ा अन्याय है, जाती है। इसके ऊपर गंभीरता से विचार करते हुए सीबीआई अगर इंक्वायरी होनी है तो मेरे को लगता कि किसी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सिटिंग जज के देख रेख के नीचे ये इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए।
The academic future of crores of students remains uncertain. With Aditya Vaibhav and Rohit Singh in Patna, Bihar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's turn from there to our other big focus today, a big setback for Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The Delhi High Court now has stepped in and extended the stay on Kejriwal's bail in the excise policy case. The High Court indicated that they will pronounce an order next week. The court's order came as the Enforcement Directorate today challenged the bail that Arvind Kejriwal had been granted by the trial court yesterday. Just hours before Kejriwal was set to be released from Tihar jail, he found that his detention will continue. Is the Enforcement Directorate therefore determined to try and keep Arvind Kejriwal in jail? That's going to be our focus. First, take a look at what happened today.
Jail, bail, and then jail again. Arvind Kejriwal's legal fortunes have gone through a series of twists and turns in the last few hours. The Delhi Chief Minister was granted bail in the money laundering case linked to the Liquorgate scandal on Thursday evening. He was asked to furnish a bail bond of 1 lakh rupees. On Friday morning, the Enforcement Directorate approached the Delhi High Court seeking a stay on the bail order. After a day full of arguments and counter-arguments, the High Court reserved its order, effectively extending the stay on Arvind Kejriwal's bail.
कोर्ट ने आज जो है केजरीवाल का बेल ऑर्डर स्टे कर दिया है। हमारी स्टे एप्लीकेशन जो है उसके ऊपर ऑर्डर किया है और फाइनल ऑर्डर 2-4 दिन में आएगा और मेन बेल कैंसिलेशन की जो एप्लीकेशन है उसकी सुनवाई बाद में होगी। उस पर नोटिस इशू हुआ है।
Outside court, the Delhi Chief Minister's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, hit out at the ED's hasty move.
अभी सुबह ऑर्डर अपलोड होना था, ऑर्डर अपलोड नहीं हुआ और ईडी हाई कोर्ट पहुंच गई ऑर्डर को स्टे करवाने के लिए। इतना ये तो ऐसे हो गया एज इफ अरविंद केजरीवाल इज द मोस्ट वांटेड टेररिस्ट ऑफ इंडिया। देश में तानाशाही इतनी हद पार कर रही है।
The Aam Aadmi Party is calling the legal tangle an example of Modi government's dictatorship.
ट्रायल कोर्ट ने माना कि जो कुछ भी ईडी ने कोर्ट के सामने रखा उसके अंदर मुख्यमंत्री के खिलाफ कोई मामला नहीं बनता। ये कोर्ट ने माना तो आप ये कह सकते हैं कि पूरा का पूरा केस डिमोलिश हो गया था, पूरा का पूरा केस खत्म हो गया था। इसीलिए पैनिक में, उतावलेपन में, बौखलाहट में सुबह सुबह ईडी और केंद्र सरकार के सबसे बड़े वकील कोर्ट में गए और मैं हैरान हूं कि जब तक कोर्ट का ऑर्डर नहीं आया था तभी हाई कोर्ट ने कैसे कह दिया कि उनकी जो जमानत है उसके ऊपर रोक लगा दी जाए, ये कभी सुनने वाली बात नहीं है।
BJP meanwhile hailed the High Court's decision.
हाई कोर्ट के संज्ञान में जो भी बातें आई होंगी, तो अगर उन्होंने स्टे लगाया इसका मतलब कि कहीं न कहीं निचली अदालत के फैसले में कुछ कमी रह गई होगी। हमारा कोर्ट पे विश्वास है, जांच एजेंसियों पे विश्वास है और हमें पूरा विश्वास है कि कोई कितना भी कुचक्र रच ले, दोषी को सजा मिलेगी।
Delhi High Court has reserved Arvind Kejriwal's bail order and will now pronounce it next week. With Shrishti Oja and Kanu Sharda in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's turn to the big questions then. Is the Enforcement Directorate acting with bias in this case, as the Aam Aadmi Party alleges? Is Arvind Kejriwal being denied his right to liberty? Is it tough simply to get bail under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act? Has this case now become more political than legal? Joining me now, Satyendra Singh, former Deputy Director, the Directorate of Enforcement, Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, Shazia Ilmi, National Spokesperson, BJP, and Akshay Marathe, National Spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party. I want to come first to the two experts, starting with you, Sanjay Hegde. I have with me para 28 of the bail order that was given yesterday by the trial court, which seems to suggest the very scenario constrains the court to draw an inference against the investigating agency that it is not acting without bias. So the trial court seems to suggest somewhere that there is an element of bias in the way the Enforcement Directorate has proceeded against Arvind Kejriwal and wants to constantly ensure that he doesn't get bail. Should that have been taken into account by the High Court when they so readily today stepped in and decided to stay that order?
Well, there are two or three questions there. The High Court was sitting during the vacation. It had an appeal before it, and it said that till the appeal was heard, let nothing be precipitated. Mm-hmm. And now, because the hearing went on till 4:30 in the evening on a Friday, it's obvious that the judges wanted to consider their order and dictate an order of some length. So there are administrative problems. So therefore they've said that they've continued their original order of stay for a couple of days in order to pronounce a judgment. We don't know which way the judgment will go. I'm not taking the stay of the High Court as an indication of what it will ultimately rule in respect of the stay petition. The second part of your question was on the argument of bias on the part of the ED. The trial court was responding to the ED's submission that by the ASG that investigation is an art. Sometimes one accused is given a lollipop of bail and pardon and induced with some assurance to make them tell the story behind the offense. So therefore, what the High Court says is, what the trial court says is that, look, it appears that you are doing a pick and choose. You seem to be inducing people. And so therefore the court says that I pause to consider this argument, which is not a palatable submission. And because if it is so, then any person can be implicated and kept behind the bars by artistically procuring material against him after artistically avoiding withdrawing exculpatory material from the record. So it does appear that the ED's own submissions prompted that finding by the trial court. Yes.
I take your point, and I just thought that might be a good point to go to my guest from the ED. सत्येंद्र सिंह, ये बताइए, ये कहा जा रहा है कि एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट ने बगैर ट्रायल कोर्ट के ऑर्डर पड़े हुए तुरंत आज सुबह गई कि बेल डिनाई करना है, और आम आदमी पार्टी का कहना है कि किसी भी हालत में ईडी नहीं चाहता कि अरविंद केजरीवाल या मोदी सरकार नहीं चाहती कि अरविंद केजरीवाल बाहर निकले. क्या कहेंगे?
राजदीप जी, देखिए, मैं ये जो पॉलिटिकल नैरेटिव की बात नहीं करूंगा. जो लीगल सिस्टम है हमारा, लीगल सिस्टम क्या है? यदि जो एग्रीव्ड पार्टी है वो अपने फर्स्ट इंस्टांस पे, फर्स्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी पे हायर कोर्ट में जाती है कि सामने वाली पार्टी को बेनिफिट नहीं मिले, और यही इसमें हुआ। तो ऐसी कोई अजीब चीज नहीं हुई है, जो लीगल सिस्टम में है उनको बेल दी ट्रायल कोर्ट ने, रात को दी ऑर्डर। ऐसा नहीं है कि बिना ऑर्डर पड़े हाई कोर्ट चले गए।
So, Akshay Marathe, what Satyendra Singh ji is saying is that the ED has every right to oppose this granting of bail that the trial court has given. They are following due process. Immediately, Aam Aadmi Party has already now gone and said that the entire system is biased against us, that there is a determined plot to ensure that Arvind Kejriwal is not allowed on bail. The fact is, this is a process. I know it's tortuous. I know, therefore, for the weekend, Mr. Kejriwal will have to spend his time in jail. But that's the law of the land, not just for Mr. Kejriwal, but for any citizen of this country.
Rajdeep ji, as the Aam Aadmi of this India, we are used to getting Tariq pe Tariq. It is nothing new. It is only for the Khas Aadmis of the BJP that the high courts and the court system is able to give bail very easily. And in fact, we saw very recently that Mr. Yediyurappa was even prevented from being arrested by the courts because he's no Tom, Dick and Harry. He's a former chief minister, apparently. So the law is applied very differently to different people in the system, and that has become amply clear. But let me focus on the important point that we need to talk about today, Rajdeep ji, because for the last 2 years, we have suffered at the hands of a BJP enforcement directorate, court system, even some sections of the media which have maligned the image of the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. 4 of our leaders have been in jail in this particular case. And the trial court yesterday completely demolished any iota of the enforcement directorate's claims against the Aam Aadmi Party. Why am I saying that? If you look at the order carefully, every single para lays out what are the problems with the enforcement directorate. It says that they failed to clarify how much time it is going to need to trace the complete money trail. For 2 years, this investigation has been going on. Arvind Kejriwal ji gets arrested on the eve of the election, but they have no indication that how much longer they are going to need to complete this investigation. So what? He will be in jail forever and ever. How can the country run like this? He's an elected chief minister, elected thrice by the people of Delhi. Then the court says that
Mr. Marathe, if I may stop you for a moment, just to clarify, Mr. Kejriwal has applied for bail to the High Court and to the Supreme Court in the past. The Supreme Court sent him back to the trial court. So it's not as if the legal process is not going on in the country. You're giving the impression almost as if the entire legal process, including the Supreme Court, is subverted. Manish Sisodia, Satyendra Jain, the others who are in jail have all gone through this legal process. Are we saying all the judges are also in some way biased?
Rajiv ji, I was not saying anything against the judges. I was merely making a point about Mr. Yediyurappa's case because it is an important distinction that everybody has to admit. I am not casting aspersions on individual judges. Yeah, but let me make just one quick point before you bring Shazia Ilmi, because this is important. We have been saying from day one, Rajdeep ji, that not a single shred of evidence was found. They did 500 raids against our leaders. Not 1 rupee was recovered from any of our residences, offices, ancestral villages, etc. So how is the enforcement directorate able to say that there is a link between some WhatsApp chats that they found and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal? That is the crux of the matter. Okay. The trial court today has admitted that there is no evidence linking Arvind Kejriwal ji, and that's why the ED is so panicked. And I can see why the BJP is so is finding it difficult to digest it, because Arvind Kejriwal coming out of jail before the Delhi election is a major problem for them.
I'll come to that in a moment. What the political implication? Just for a moment to focus on the law. Shazia Ilmi, again, when I look at the observations that were made in the bail order, it's the judge says it seems that the ED also believes that the evidence on record is not sufficient to proceed against the applicant, and it is taking time to procure the same in any manner. Now, clearly the trial court judge, this is the trial court judge.
Yes, and just like you insinuate that there was a tearing hurry on the part of ED to run to High Court to challenge this, what was the tearing hurry for the trial judge and the learned judge on the vacation bench to give this bail? Because according to SV Raju, the documents were not even looked at. The judge found it too much, and if she found the documents, they found the documents too bulky and cumbersome to go through. And
are you also casting aspersions on the judge, ma'am?
So that both sides
are you casting aspersions on the judge?
The documents. Let me finish. Let me finish. Now, I want to finish saying what I'm saying.
Please go ahead.
Because give me as much time.
I will.
And,
Don't worry. I will.
And so, yes. We have to divide time equally amongst all. So let's not have rebuttals. Let's not be in such a tearing hurry to keep offering rebuttals. So what was the tearing hurry for the trial court to give this bail? By the same logic, and also without looking at both sides of the argument, especially when the time was asked for, and S.V. Raju even said, I have to make my argument. The vacation judges, the vacation bench and the judges on it felt that it was too bulky and they don't want to go through that. Surely it is a job of the prosecuting agency to challenge this. If they had not challenged this, if Arvind Kejriwal and his team were distributing laddus today, what would they have said? That there was no case to start with? Why is Manish Sisodia in jail? Why is K. Kavita in jail? What was the role of Vijay Nair? Why were all the phones destroyed? Why was bail denied again and again to Manish Sisodia, not once but many times over? What was the role of Dinesh Arora, Amit Arora, the Hawala operators? What was the role of Reddy's? When you talk about Reddy's, what do they say? Oh, because they became approver, they got bail. How are people made approvers? What is the whole judicial process that is taken into consideration? We all know that. So when you get bail, what do you say? Oh, the court is great. And when the bail is stayed or paused or halted for real reasons as part of the judicial process, what do you say? Oh, BJP government is against us. There is a lot of confusion here which need not be there. And it's totally unwarranted to keep blaming the judges when it suits you and when it doesn't.
No, but you're blaming the trial judge, and they have in the past also questioned the judicial system. The unfortunate part is the judges are also now getting caught in this political tangle. Akshay Marathe, let's be clear. The Supreme Court did not give a clean chit to Mr. Kejriwal even when they gave him a clean interim bail so that he could campaign in the election. At no stage has he got a clean chit. Just as you're saying that the ED has not proved the money trail, you cannot argue it at the moment at least that anyone has given the Chief Minister a clean chit just yet.
Rajeevji, I want to clarify. I did not raise any aspersions on the High Court judge. I was merely pointing out that there are different systems that work for different people. But let me come to your question specifically. Under the PMLA law, in which Mr. Kejriwal got bailed yesterday by the trial court.
When you say that,
just a minute. Both of you, ma'am, this is a sensitive matter. Go ahead, Akshay, and then I'll go to Sanjay Hegde. Yes.
Under Section 45 of the PMLA, which granted bail to Arvind Kejriwal yesterday, it is a very high bar for getting bail. You only get bail if the judge is convinced that there is no offense made out against you and that the judge thinks that you will not commit an offense if you are let out on bail. So when you have such a high bar for giving bail to someone, that bail can be treated as good as a clean chit. Because the trial has not even come close to starting. Rajdeepji, unfortunately, our system is so slow. The investigation is on for 2 years.
Yes,
the trial is
and that's
probably
why it can
going
be
to start
challenged.
after several years. So at this stage, what do we have? We only have the bail hearings. The trial has not begun. So on the basis of the bail hearing, if the bail has been granted, how can we not say that the judge has felt convinced that there is no offense made out?
You've made your point, Akshay. I want to ask you, Sanjay Hegde, the point that is being made by Mr. Marathe is that look at Yediyurappa's case. How does he not even get touched or arrested? The fact is it's a very different case. It's not PMLA. But you've got a case of Hemant Soren. He's been trying for bail for months on end. He was jailed in late January. He was not even allowed a break to go and campaign in the election like Arvind Kejriwal was. Manish Sisodia has been in jail in this very case for 15 months. Satyendra Jain for almost 2 years. I mean, is there a worry that you have that every time a political party doesn't get what they would like from the court, immediately questions are raised about the judiciary?
Well, the judiciary can take care of itself.
No, does it have double standards? Does the judiciary also have double standards? Or is the problem with PMLA?
Well, there are many. No, there is certainly a problem with the PMLA because, in effect, it empowers the investigating agency to just throw somebody in jail and then throw away the key and say that no court can give bail. If any court gives bail, it has to come to a prima facie satisfaction that there is no guilt. And they can't arrive at a prima facie satisfaction without a trial. And we will not hold a trial for kingdom come. So that is the real problem. And courts now are looking past the facial averment that, look, you can't grant bail. So that's what has happened in this case. Based on the prosecution's own arguments, the courts have drawn inferences. And on this question about look at the record and this and that, what the trial court records is, although various bulky documents and citations have been filed by both parties, most of which were not even relevant in respect of the present application, but it seems that both parties have filed the same along with detailed arguments with the apprehension as to an order may be passed in favor of the other party. So what the court says is that, look, you can't just keep on indulging in a filibuster so that no effective orders are passed.
That Satyendra Singh is the problem. ED हमेशा कोर्ट के सामने जाता है और कहता है हमें अधिक समय चाहिए, हमें और समय दीजिए, और मामला ऐसे ही टलता जाता है. यही जो दिक्कत है, खास करके पीएमएलए को लेकर. एक बार आप पीएमएलए में अरेस्ट हो जाए, 6 से 9 महीने आपको लाइफ एंड लिबर्टी मिलती नहीं है. क्या ये कहीं ना कहीं ईडी भी पीएमएलए का दुरुपयोग कर रहा है?
राजदीप जी, यदि ये कहा जाता है कि ट्रायल जल्दी नहीं किया गया, इन्वेस्टिगेशन में लोग कोऑपरेट नहीं करते हैं एक्यूज, और ट्रायल स्टार्ट करने के लिए आप देखिए एविडेंसेस कलेक्ट करने पड़ते हैं, और एविडेंसेस भी ऐसे कलेक्ट करने पड़ते हैं कि ट्रायल के अंदर वो अपनी जगह पे खड़े रहे. तो ये आरोप लगाना कि ईडी जानबूझ के डिले करती है, सरासर गलत है. क्या आप कोई पर्टिकुलर केस में ही करती है? ये आरोप गलत है. देखिए, आप एक और समझे, आपको कि शायद आपको तो राजदीप जी पता होगा कि ईडी की स्ट्रेंथ क्या है. ईडी की टोटल स्ट्रेंथ है 2000. अब यदि ये कहा जाए कि नहीं साहब गवर्नमेंट को यहाँ बढ़ा के 10,000 कर देने चाहिए, ये डिले हो रहा है, तो देखिए जानबूझ के कुछ भी नहीं किया जा रहा है.
जानबूझ के नहीं किया जा रहा है, लेकिन 2 साल से ज्यादा हो गए हैं. And of course, the trial also has not started. So the questions will be raised. I'm not just saying it's in Arvind Kejriwal's case, but also...
राजदीप जी, एक बात सुने मेरी
जी.
एक्स व्यक्ति को सम्मन दिया जाता है, बुलाया जाता है, वो 1 साल तक अपीयर नहीं होता, कोई ना कोई बहाना करके, और फिर कहता है कि ट्रायल स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ, इन्वेस्टिगेशन कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ. ये डबल स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है तो क्या है? आप बताइए
जी.
या ये राइट है एक्यूज का, मैं मानता हूं अपने आप को डिफेंड करना उसका राइट है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट है, लेकिन ये एक्यूजेशन भी गलत है.
तो आप कह रहे हैं जब अक्यूज बार बार समन्स रिजेक्ट करते हैं तो मामला और टल जाता है. There is the politics involved in this. And remember, I spoke to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal during the election campaign last month, and I asked him what would happen, particularly with the Delhi elections coming in a few months from now, if he was still lodged in jail at the time. Listen into what he said. 8 महीने में दिल्ली में चुनाव होने हैं. अगर उस चुनाव के समय आप उसी तरह से जेल में रहें, क्या आम आदमी पार्टी इस तरह से लड़ सकती है चुनाव अगर उनका नेता जो है वो जेल में है?
अगर इन्होंने मेरे को दिल्ली के चुनाव में जेल में रखा, बिना प्रचार के 70 की 70 सीट आ जाएंगे, इनको एक भी नहीं मिलेगी. जनता देख रही है, जनता बहुत सियानी है. जब मैं बाहर निकला हूं, जनता में इतना गुस्सा कि ऐसे किसी को भी पकड़ के जेल में डाल देंगे. ये
लेकिन एक मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं होती
ये क्या मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी?
एक बार अगर आपको जेल में जाना पड़ा है, जब तक आपको बरी नहीं किया जाता तब तक आप नहीं आ सकते.
ये तो जनतंत्र के खिलाफ है. अगर कोई मुख्यमंत्री अभूतपूर्व मैंडेट लेके जीत गया और उसको जेल में डाल के आप उसकी सरकार गिराना चाहते हो, उसको मुख्यमंत्री पद से हटाना चाहते हो, तो मेरे को तो संघर्ष करना चाहिए. मुझे मैदान छोड़ के भागना नहीं चाहिए. मैदान छोड़ के कायर भागते हैं, केजरीवाल नहीं भागता.
शाजिया इल्मी, is there a political angle to all of this? Because the Delhi elections are 7 to 8 months away, and the Aam Aadmi Party believes that the BJP is making every effort to ensure that Arvind Kejriwal does not come out till those elections in February next year.
So Rajdeep, just a reminder, Arvind Kejriwal, who made such a hue and cry and made it out to be that he was the sole pivot on which the entire elections are being held, and that he will be the main contender for Modi. How many seats did he have? 0. Because one seat also, which was held by Rinku, went away to BJP. I mean, he left for BJP. Now, how many seats did he get while he was doing prachar, for which he was treated like a special person? And I find, how many seats did he get? 3, I think, in Punjab.
3.
0 in Delhi. Now, Akshay Marathe talks about Aam Aadmi and all of that. I think this weekend, he will not be able to stay in that Sheesh Mahal. So, he's no Aam Aadmi there, unlike others, and the law will remain the same for everybody. He could very well get bail 2 days later, I mean, you know, but the fact of the matter is that you can't just use judiciary as a punching bag when it suits you and when it doesn't. When actually your stay order is halted, what do you make it out to be about the BJP? When you actually get zamanat or bail, what do you say? You thank the court. It can't work. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't have your cake and eat it too is what Shazia Ilmi says. Akshay Marathe, Shazia Ilmi says you can't have your cake and eat it too. The point is, the Aam Aadmi Party seems to believe that if Mr. Kejriwal is in jail, he seemed to suggest you'll get sympathy, you'll sweep Delhi. The fact is, he came out of jail, campaigned, and you got 0 seats in Delhi. Is there a sense now that the Aam Aadmi Party also is guilty in some way of trying to completely misread how this case is playing out?
Rajiv ji, I want to say that as a citizen of India, it is very disturbing and alarming to me that a young party like Aam Aadmi Party, it is only 10 years old. We have a state government in 2 states. We forayed into Goa, we forayed into Gujarat. We are one of the fastest growing political parties in India. A young party like ours is being strangulated using the institutional strength and might of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And we are not being able to ask the questions to the BJP about why they are doing that. How can we allow the BJP to let go scot-free when they have shown no respect for the democratic institutions in this country? We are a legitimate political party. We are not a terrorist organization. We are a legitimate elected government in Delhi. We are not some kind of pariah organization. But the BJP is going after us as though they should be going after Pakistan and China and, you know, our foreign enemies. But they are incapable of doing that. They are incapable of running this country. They cannot stop paper leaks.
Not really.
They cannot prevent climate change from
we will come to paper leaks on another day.
All they can do is go after Arvind Kejriwal because they think of him as a threat.
Okay, you
think of Arvind Kejriwal as a threat to the BJP.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Clearly, we hope to see what the court says in a more reasoned order next week. The Delhi High Court has that challenge before it to tell us whether they believe Mr. Kejriwal should be getting bail or not. Is the trial court order acceptable to them or not? But for now, clearly lots of questions will still continue to swirl around in this case. Appreciate my guest joining us. To more breaking news that's coming in. You've been seeing some of those news flashes after a bitter campaign where the India allies, Trinamool Congress and Congress fought each other. Now there seems to be a bit of a patch-up. The TMC Congress claimed that they have buried their hatchet in Bengal. In fact, the Congress's state leader, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who's led the campaign against Mamta Banerjee, now says, I have no personal rivalry with her. And we are told by sources that Mamta Banerjee may even go and campaign for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra when she contests in the Wayanad by-elections.
যখন যে কথাটা বলছিলাম যে 2011 সালে যে বিধানসভা নির্বাচন, সেই বিধানসভা নির্বাচনে ম্যাডাম সোনিয়া গান্ধীর কাছে আমি অধীর চৌধুরী বলেছিলাম, দায়িত্ব নিয়ে আপনাদের বলছি, যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গে তৃণমূলের সঙ্গে জোট করে বামেদের বিরোধিতা করতে হবে, না হলে আমরা পারবো না। মমতা ব্যানার্জি ওখানকার খুবই বিশ্বাসযোগ্য নেত্রী বলে পরিচিত, তাকে সঙ্গে নিন, কংগ্রেস আর টিএমসি মার্চ না একসঙ্গে অ্যালায়েন্স করে নির্বাচনটা করলে মনে হয় আমাদের ভালো হবে। মমতা ব্যানার্জির সঙ্গে আমার বিরোধ কোনো ব্যক্তিগত বিরোধ নয়, আমার রাজনৈতিক বিরোধ। আমি কংগ্রেস যখন করেছি, কংগ্রেসকে ভালোবেসে কংগ্রেস করেছি।
Okay, joining me now is Indrajit Kundu live from Kolkata. Indrajit, it seems suddenly that there is an olive branch on both sides. P. Chidambaram has also now gone and met Mamta Banerjee, we are told. What is it before Parliament session? Is the TMC and Congress coming closer together? What's the politics involved here?
Well, absolutely. There seems to be a thaw in relations after a long phase of very cold behavior from both sides, especially with Mamta Banerjee clearly stating that she is going to go alone, and she fought the elections alone here in West Bengal. And now with P. Chidambaram coming as an emissary of the Gandhis, we see that there is an olive branch being extended. The Congress clearly feels that the way in the last few weeks, the Trinamool Congress being the third largest opposition party within the India bloc, We've seen Abhishek Banerjee, the second in command in the Trinamool Congress, going to Delhi, meeting Raghav Chadda of the Aam Aadmi Party, Akhilesh Yadav, holding separate meetings within the India bloc, then going to Mumbai and meeting the Thakres. That seems to have rattled the Congress a bit, because just 2 days back, we've seen how a delegation of the Trinamool Congress went and met Sharad Pawar and held a demonstration outside the SEBI office demanding a probe into what they call the exit poll fiasco. In that backdrop, the Congress clearly has got the message that the Trinamool, all is not well with the Trinamool Congress, but it does need the Trinamool Congress ahead of the Parliament session, Trinamool being the third largest party. So therefore, senior leader like Chidambaram coming in and trying to pacify Mamata Banerjee. We are given to understand from sources close to the Chief Minister that she has agreed to go and campaign for Priyanka Gandhi now in Vadra, in Wayanad. And at the same time, as we just heard, the Pradesh Congress President, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who was in fact the main, point of contention. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's very strong and staunch anti-Mamata stance. He seems to be softening his position as well.
Okay, Indrajit Kundu, with those details, possibly post-2024 elections, new configurations there emerging. Okay, let's turn to more breaking news that's coming in, and this is coming in now from Mumbai, because now we've accessed images of alleged cracks that have taken place on the service road. I think it's important to stress that, on the service road on the Atal Setu bridge. Remember, the longest sea bridge in the country, near Mumbai, the service road has developed cracks. The opposition, of course, is criticizing it, but Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has said these are only pictures of an approach road. There is no crack in the actual bridge at the moment. Mustafa Sheikh joins us. Mustafa Sheikh, the government of Maharashtra, the MMRDA, clarifying that those cracks that we are seeing are not on the main bridge. They are on an approach road, a service road. Should that therefore absolve them of any responsibility at all? What is the concern, particularly with the monsoon now coming?
Well, Rajdeep, it's clear that it's a world-class project, because as you said, a long sea bridge, and it's a newly inaugurated bridge which is just 6 months old. And even if it's an approach road, this the cracks which you can see is we also visited this spot this afternoon, and it has it's on the approach road towards Ulve in Navi Mumbai. Now, what we saw is that it's a tar road, and the tar road is slipping on one side. We heard the engineers speaking. They are saying that it happens in the first monsoon when the soil settles down, but it's not that we have seen it anywhere else happening. But yes, if the road falls, if there is a heavy rainfall, and if the road falls, a person or a commuter can fall in the ditch. So that's one of the concerns which was raised by the Congress. Of course, they are also alleging corruption. They are just saying that this project, which is just 6 months old, such kind of cracks which are appearing, is really raising concerns in terms of the commuters, who are saying that if there is heavy rainfall, because the monsoon has just started in Mumbai, this is June, July, September, there are more rains to come, and if this road, this problem exists, then the commuters should know, because they have to travel their plans. Earlier, even on the coastal road, they have dug tunnels in the Arabian Sea, which is passing through Marine Drive and Worli. There were some leakages reported, after which it was filled. So clearly, Congress has raised the issue, saying that it's a corruption issue, that there is the quality of work which has been done on this Atal Setu is not up to the mark. Back to you.
Okay. Let's turn to tonight's Get Real India story, and it comes from Lucknow. In fact, various parts of Uttar Pradesh that are reeling under unforgiving summer heat, which is now exacerbated by an unprecedented power crisis. As temperatures soar, homes in several parts of Lucknow and other UP towns are devoid at the moment, are struggling to deal with the heat because of frequent unscheduled power outages. The government, though, they're living in denial. Take a look at today's Get Real India story.
No fans, no ACs in this scorching summer. This is what residents of Uttar Pradesh's capital, Lucknow, are living through. With no respite from the heat wave, power cuts are rampant. 19-year-old Akshat, preparing for college entrance exams, is unable to study due to unscheduled power outages.
We can't, turn on the computer, the lamp and all the fans at the same time. So that's why we have to manage. Power cuts during the night time are the biggest issues, because we think that we are going to get a time where we'll study with peace. But at that same time, power cuts are happening, so we are getting disturbed.
Another Lucknow resident, SP Nigam, a diabetes and hypertension patient, is having sleepless nights. He lives in Gomti Nagar Extension, one of the poshest colonies in the city.
गर्मी अगर ज़्यादा होगी तो आप डिस्कम्फर्ट होगा तो आपका पल्पिटेशन बढ़ जाएगा, आप रेस्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे, नींद नहीं ले पाएंगे, मेडिसिन इफेक्टिव उतनी नहीं रहती है, फिर दूसरी मेडिसिन पे जाना पड़ सकता है.
2 to 3 hours of power cuts are routine these days, with the state's power demand peaking at 3,600 megawatts.
मैं अपने कर्मियों को और राज्य के उपभोक्ताओं को ये आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि हम हमेशा 24 घंटे बिजली देने के लिए तत्पर हैं. 24 घंटे बिजली देना हमारा संकल्प है, हमारी सरकार का संकल्प है. माननीय मोदी जी के, माननीय योगी जी के निर्देशन में, हमें नेतृत्व में हम इसे पूरा करेंगे. ये हमारा राज्य के नागरिकों को, उपभोक्ताओं को वादा है.
With no respite from sweltering heat, the power crisis is adding to the misery of residents.
Amid sweltering heat, residents of Lucknow and UP are reeling under unscheduled power cuts, voltage fluctuations, and much more. Residents claim that the helpline number doesn't work when they call during night. Also, the unscheduled power cut are making the life of the students who are preparing for exams have become worse in this scenario, while the power department claims that the need of power, the demand of power has surged all-time high, with ACs on in almost all homes. With cameraman Neeraj Kumar, Samarth Srivastav for India Today.
Power cuts in Uttar Pradesh. Let me leave you though with something more pleasant. Remember, today is Yoga Day, and there is Yoga Day fervor nationwide and globally today. Those are the images I want to leave you with, because there's been widespread participation from Srinagar to New York. The Prime Minister leading the Yoga Day celebrations in Srinagar, and they span from mountain peaks to the deep blue sea. In New York, the yogis took over Times Square, showcasing yoga's global appeal. The Embassy of India in Japan also witnessed overwhelming participation from Japanese leaders, diplomats, and yoga enthusiasts. So clearly, yoga is making waves. On that note, I wish you well. I hope you have a yogic weekend. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri. Jai Hind, Namaskar.